All right. So, I invited you here to dinner tonight.
Sorry, I'm making faces at the camera.
Oh, you can see yourself right over there, Ken.
We're right here.
We're right
here.
And when we're right here, I have invited you, Sami Callihan, to the Fox and Hound, King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, the place for great food, great-looking waitresses. Come here for all the big sporting events.
I love it. I come here all the time as it is.
I know you do, actually. I found that out. Some of the waitresses are still waiting on the tip. They got you.
Bring it up. To make me look bad. I have to point out, I love your hair, though. Like,
well, you like to comb over?
It's almost as great as mine. I kind of do mine to the left, so like.
Well, that's why it's covered up.
Right, yeah.
Okay. He didn't want to overdo his hair, so mine wouldn't look as good as it usually does.
I don't want to outshine you. I don't want to outshine.
Outshine literally with those lights. I like that. But anyway, also here at the Fox and Hound in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, you can come and see all the WWE pay-per-views for free. Right here. For free.
For free.
And you know what free is?
It's free.
Free is a 4-letter word that everyone likes.
I like free.
And the food here is incredible.
But it's not free.
No, but what do you order when you come here?
I'm a big buffalo wing guy. I can eat 20 or 30 buffalo wings in one sitting.
I'm a burger guy.
Callihan chicken wing machine, I call myself.
I like that. So what I wanted to do with you today, I've seen you progress since you started, but there are people out there, not in the majority out there,
in video world,
that don't know anything about Sami Callihan. So a few weeks ago, I did an interview all about Adam Cole.
That guy.
Yeah,
Adam Cole.
Adam Cole. And we got a lot of mail that says, well, why don't you get some of the other guys on the Indy circuit and just start from the beginning and go to, you know, what. So let's start at the beginning. I'm going to give myself a lobotomy. Would you mind helping here? Thank you. I'm lobotomized. And Sami Callihan, first of all, your height and weight.
I'm about 5'11", 210 pounds right now.
Okay. So how did it happen for you? Were you a wrestling fan? And you can look out there while you're talking as well and tell the people out there. Were you a wrestling fan growing up?
My first memory of being little was wrestling. It's all I've ever wanted to do. I remember I either wanted to be a Ghostbuster or be a professional wrestler.
Really?
Then I found out Ghostbusters weren't real, so I had to settle for pro wrestling.
I got you. Very interesting. Write that down. That's good. So tell us how you started watching it on TV.
I remember my brothers used to watch it, my dad used to watch it, and then my brothers are way older than me, so when they moved out of the house, I just kept the trend. My mom would go to work, and my dad had a heart attack, so he was kind of a stay-at-home dad. And his roles were reversed on that.
Okay.
But me and my dad, we always used to watch Monday Night Nitro when my mom was at work, and then I really got into WWE. Then the older
you were during the wars.
Absolutely, I was prime age for that. Between 4th grade and like being in high school, like that's all I cared.
Were you NWO?
Wasn't an NWO. I was a Sting guy.
Okay. Oh.
All for Sting.
Wow. See all you little stingers? What you can become? Go ahead.
But it was always something that I always watched it, and then I got really enthralled in it.
Wait a minute. You said you were a Sting guy, and this is interesting. How old were you at the time?
I have to say like 4th, 5th, 6th grade, so I'd say probably like 10, 11, 12.
Now, the reason I ask is my son Brandon was also a Sting guy at around that same time. How old are you now?
I just turned 25.
Okay, my son is 25 actually.
Look at that.
See that, Brandon? He's the promotions manager for the Frederick Keys in Baltimore. Hey, Brandon.
Hello, Frederick.
Anyway, his hero, he had 2 guys, Sting and Goldberg at that point.
Everyone liked Goldberg if they were a kid around that time. How could you not like a big monster that was just destroying everyone? It's the same thing with Ryback in WWE right now.
Yes.
Little kids love him.
Oh, I know that.
Little kids come up to me to shows all the time. They're like, "Do you know Ryback?" I'm like, "I don't know." Like, but
you don't call him Ryberg, do you?
No,
Okay.
not Ryberg. He's a whole different animal.
All right. But getting back on track here. So you started watching wrestling, and how did it progress from there? How did you follow your dream?
It progressed. I remember being in high school, and me and my friends, we always used to be like beating each other up in the backyard or beating each other up in the front yard, the living room.
Were you an official backyard wrestler?
I wouldn't say official. I'd say like right on the fence. We just did it to goof around and have some fun.
Okay.
But I remember I was actually going to college on a wrestling scholarship, and I had actually got hurt. I got redshirted my freshman year.
Now, where was this? What college?
Ohio Northern.
Okay.
So I got really depressed that I got hurt, and I kind of dropped out of college and used the rest of my tuition money. And me and a couple of my friends from high school actually drove down to Cincinnati. From where I'm from, I'm about an hour north of Dayton, around Lima. So that's like a 2.5-hour drive.
Yeah.
And we drive there and back 2 times a week on Thursdays and Fridays.
And what was there?
The Shark Tank Wrestling Academy is where I got my start at, and then from there.
Who trained you there?
Shark Boy. It's the Shark Tank. It's an easy. Well, come on. Come on.
I want to make sure there's no confusion.
You don't know, look it up. But and then from there, it was actually in the HWA training facility. I actually got to meet a lot of guys from HWA like John Moxley and Cody Hawk and Matt Stryker and Les Thatcher, and I realized that's where I wanted to go train. They had such a great track record at putting out great wrestlers. Like they put out Nigel McGuinness, they put out BJ Whitmer at the time, and like that was where I wanted to be. So I just followed up and just moved down to Cincinnati, took all my belongings, and went from there. Like training 4 days a week under Cody Hawk, Les Thatcher, and also getting some training with like John Moxley and Matt Stryker, and like getting to work in the ring with people like Nigel McGuinness. It was a great place to come up and learn wrestling.
Now, while you're doing all this and you left college, etc., what about the home element? Were your parents like, this was cool?
Well, my parents always knew I wanted to be a pro wrestler. From the time I was in high school, I was looking at wrestling training schools of like where to go, because I knew it was always something I wanted to do. But they're like, go to college first. So I was like, okay, I'll do the college thing, and it just.
I'm glad I saw that.
Yeah.
So we're back. We had a slight power failure.
What are you doing to me, man?
I don't know. I'm telling you, no respect at all.
Messing up.
Anyway, so tell us how what the next step was.
The next step in my career was I knew I had to get out of the Midwest.
Right.
And I'd actually gotten really lucky that before I moved out there, I'd gotten in with CZW, and by pure luck, I debuted for CZW, Chikara, and had a Ring of Honor dark match all within a week. So I knew, like, I'm going right out to the East Coast.
How did you get into each one of these?
It was really weird, and by pure luck, right place, right time. I'd actually wrestled Vin Gerard at a place called Insanity Pro Wrestling in Indianapolis, Indiana, and Mike Quackenbush was at the show, and he was like, oh, we want to bring you out for Young Lions Cup. So it was like, that was going to be my first experience on the East Coast.
So that was your entree to the other group scene?
Absolutely. I came out to do Chikara Young Lions Cup, and just by chance on Friday, I was on the Friday and the Sunday show for Chikara, but nothing on Saturday. And by chance, CZW was running that Saturday. And one of my best friends in the business, Drake Younger, was like, man, come down CZW. I'll get you on, you get your tryout.
I like the accent.
I love him.
Sound like Tommy Rich a bit, but it's okay.
He does. But I wrestled Chikara, then I wrestled CZW, then came back and worked Chikara. And I remember all weekend I was talking to this guy, this older fellow in a Hawaiian shirt at my gimmick table, just talking about like different old school wrestling. And little did I know that was Kerry Silkin, the owner of Ring of Honor.
Wow.
After my match on night 3 of Young Lions Cup, he came up to me and introduced himself, and he goes, you live in Ohio, don't you? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, I'm going to call Gabe right now, and I'm going to make sure you get a dark match next week in Dayton. So
were you surprised that he knew who you were?
I don't know if he knew me before that weekend. I think that weekend was just like a platform for me to get like all this exposure, and it just, by pure luck, the next week Ring of Honor was in Dayton. So within a 7-day span, I wrestled for Chikara, CZW, and Ring of Honor.
That's unbelievable. That's rare too, isn't it?
I was very lucky.
Yes. Okay. So now you wrestled for all 3 of them. Obviously, what was the next part of your career?
Go ahead. The next step was international stuff.
Dragon Gate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I started making a name for myself in CZW, and I did a little bit of Chikara, and I did a little bit of Ring of Honor, and things were really starting to pick up steam for me internationally. I was going to England, Germany, Mexico, Australia, Japan, Scotland, like you name it. I had been there randomly, like just by pure luck.
You were traveling a lot in those countries with CZW at the time.
Not just CZW. I think CZW was the first place that really got me the exposure to these other countries. But I was getting buried myself, like on regular international tours all over the place.
Great.
And then from there, I started getting in talks with Gabe Sapolsky, who had started up Evolve and Dragon Gate USA, and I remember sending him an email one day. I'm like, this is the company I want to work for. I want to work for Evolve, and Dragon Gate is everything that I love about pro wrestling right now, and I feel like it's a place I need to be. And he'll even say it to you like firsthand. He wasn't really sold on me at first. He really wasn't. He didn't get Sami Callihan, but he gave me an opportunity on Evolve, actually against Adam Cole, and I took the most of the opportunity. I absolutely killed it. So he gave me another opportunity, killed it again. Then he gave me an opportunity in Dragon Gate, killed it again, and I got offered a Dragon Gate USA contract where I've been signed the last 2 years.
That's great. That's fantastic. So currently now you're doing a lot of work, I know, currently with CZW as well.
Absolutely. CZW is my home company. It'll always be my home company.
That's why I brought that up.
Absolutely. And I'd say my three main places are CZW, Dragon Gate USA, and Evolve, because it's all different styles, and like I like to show that I'm not just a one-trick pony. I can do anything on any given night. If I need to have a crazy brawl, I can have a crazy brawl. If I need to have a technical classic, I can have a technical classic. If I need to go out there and make an ass of myself, I can go out there and make an ass of myself.
And what do you attribute that to? The fine training that you had back in the days with HWA, etc.?
I think the training is what showed me that, but I think just my hunger and like going out and just finding anyone I can to ride with. I learned so much just being on the road with different guys.
Riding in the cars and picking their brains.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And by doing that, I just was able to pick up, when I first got in the business, I was working like West Virginia, so I was working a real Southern style.
Yeah.
Then I started working IWA Mid-South, which is more brawling and like super indie style. And I was working all these small places in Ohio, and I was just taking a little bit here, taking a little bit there.
A little from everybody.
And anyone I could, I just asked for advice, and I just always stored it and just kept eating it, eating it, eating it, eating it.
That's great.
Until I got to where I am now.
Well, what about what is your next ultimate goal in this business?
I think my next ultimate goal would either be really cement myself as a big star in Japan or to go to WWE. I don't know why anyone, in my opinion, I don't know why anyone would get in the business and try to make a career out of this and not want to go to WWE. That's where we all want to be. We all want to be on WrestleMania.
So WWE people are looking right there, right now. Why should they bring Sami Callihan into the WWE? They're watching.
I'm a completely different entity than everyone out there. I can do something different on every night, and it really doesn't matter who you put me in the ring with. I've had experience wrestling guys from all over the world that don't even speak English. I feel completely contempt in my abilities. I can go out there and have a good match with anyone, and completely contempt on my vocal abilities that I can go out there and tell a story on any given night.
All right. And where can, if fans want to contact you or the WWE wants to get you?
Twitter,
on Facebook?
Facebook, I'm not on Facebook a lot. It's kind of annoyed me. I kind of reached the maximum number of friends, and I'm always getting messages on there, but the best way to contact me is on Twitter. I'm completely obsessed with it. I kind of hit the Twitter sphere, per se.
You got to follow each other.
Absolutely. You can hit me up at Sami Callihan, or just hashtag Death Machine. I might get a hold of you.
All right, so we will be watching Sami Callihan, and 1 year from today, we're going to come right back here to the Fox and Hound at King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, and we're going to see where you've moved.
Absolutely, I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
But next time, you're picking up the tab.
I speak English. I don't understand one word of it. Thank you, sir.